Hello everybody. What are we today? Final session, level 2. So with the mantras, let's take a good posture. Invoking grace, welcome. You want to connect with your sitting bones. Connect with your physical body. Connect with the breath. Connect with the emotional body. How are you doing? How are you feeling this Thursday evening? How's your body, energy-wise? How's your mind? Is it here? Or is it caught up in story? No, I don't have to ask you how is your awareness, because your awareness is always the same. Awareness is always aware. The beauty of awareness is this background which you can always go to. Is this inner ground of being. You just need to relax into it, soften into it. Release yourself into it. I've been contemplating this whole 7 weeks awareness. This field of awareness where we experience everything that we are and everything that there is to be perceived. The coolness of the air in your skin. The sounds, noises. The inner chatter of the mind. All these forms that arise and subside in awareness. Like waves that arise and subside in the ocean of being. How awareness has no form, no name, no quality, besides being this inner ground. Your very own essence. It does have one quality. It is blissful, complete, tranquil, serene. And from the bliss of awareness, everything else arises. Every form or shape in your awareness, every sound, every feeling is a manifestation of the power of awareness. Everything that you are, everything that you know, is a manifestation of the power of your awareness, our awareness. That's its Shakti, its power. Take a deep breath in. Take a long breath. Deep inhale. And long exhale. With the next inhalation, Om. Om Namah Shivaya. Gurave Sachidananda Murtaya Nishprabhachaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejasvi. Om Namah Shivaya. Gurave Sachidananda Murtaya Nishprabhachaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejasvi. Om Namah Shivaya. Gurave Sachidananda Murtaya Nishprabhachaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejasvi. Welcome once again. I think we have advanced quite a lot since we started level 1. Feel it. Feel that how you guys are holding the energy. So awareness. Now, if there's any God, it happens in awareness. In Indian philosophy, God and awareness are the same thing. Because if you ever see a God, like a deep in meditation, you see this white light, and Jesus comes, which could happen, and it will be an amazing blessing. It'll still be happening in your awareness. You see? Awareness is the foundation of everything, even of the concept of God. That's why in Indian philosophy, you and God are the same. Though God is expanded awareness, awareness uncontracted, uncontracted awareness, fully expanded awareness. Not, when we say contracted, it means it hasn't gone through a navamala. Remember last class? A contraction of smallness. So that's why when we say Om Namah Shivaya Gurave, I bow to this essence, which is my guru, my teacher. It's because what I've been trying to teach you all this time without actually saying is to build a connection with the eternal, alive within your own being, with God within you. So we don't like to use the word God because right away all these concepts about God spring up in our heads. The biblical God, whatever concept of God you might be born into. Now this awareness in Tantra said is complete freedom. It's totally free, non-judgmental. It is pure love. It is the ground of being. And it is pure, deep wisdom and intelligence. It contains everything. It knows everything. It's a reservoir of the totality of our own existence. It contains your whole story, my own story, contains everyone's own story. All the stories. And meditating is actually a practice of you, and when I mean you, your ego, your idea of you, Tomas, and what he thinks he should do in meditation, putting him aside. Meditation is actually getting out of the way and letting God do, in a way. Meditation is allowing the primordial power of life to flow through you, as you, unhindered by the concepts in your head. That's why you might have heard a lot the concept of surrendering. Surrendering your small will to the greater will. There is a greater will. Because there is this intentional power within. And it wanted to become you. This Shakti, this power, it wanted to become you. And it also became you. And it is seeking to express itself through you as you. But the ego, or your concept of shoulds and shouldn'ts, or your beliefs, all your doctrines, all what you've been grown up to, often is actually in the way of this primordial power, which is pure freedom and pure bliss. That's why my spiritual teacher, she would say, this practice of meditation is the practice of unlearning everything that you've learned and attuning yourself to your primordial power and learning to be fearless in this deepest truth of your being. So this next course that is coming, the power of intention, is contemplating that inner sankalpa, that deep wish of Shakti within you to become you. We want to align, attune to our highest wisdom, not to repetitive stories of the past. Not, you want to align with your deepest wisdom. And there is a deeper wisdom that is has nothing to do with society, but it has created society. It is behind everything. It is the greatest power. So you want to tap into that inner wisdom yourself and allow yourself to be transformed by that power, by becoming that power. So you say, oh, am I becoming that? Well, you have to let go of what you think you are. You got to let go of your story. You see? And that's why we meditate. We're dropping our story so we can hear, listen, something more subtle within our own being that is eternal and that is infinite. And you're aligning to that greater truth. But you need to drop your mind. You need to let go of you trying to be in control so that you can enter into a deeper body. It's like letting go of a small body so you can enter into a true body. So that's why I believe surfers, people that surf, they become very spiritual because to surf, you cannot, as a surfer, you cannot control the waves. You gotta align yourself to the waves to be able to surf the wave, right? You're paddling and you gotta paddle as fast as the wave and get into the groove of the wave to be able to flow with the wave. So meditation is letting go of your doing so that the spontaneous wisdom of the self can be allowed to flow through you. It is always intended to flow, but we're so full of fear, control, and desire that we do not listen enough with it. Because we don't listen, we don't attune ourselves. And because you don't attune yourself, you feel empty. Because this fullness comes from attuning to this fullness of being, this inner wisdom. But it's not only wisdom, it's not about book knowledge, but it's this aliveness within us. And that aliveness, I spoke to it also about one of the classes as Kundalini Shakti, this wisdom of the body. So when we're meditating, we listen to the breath, we notice the emotions, we notice the thoughts, we notice this fundamental power of awareness. And what do? We stop doing so that the spontaneous can happen, so that the inspiration can happen. You gotta stop doing. You gotta stop being in control. You gotta surrender. You gotta just be in deep attunement to this inner nothingness. And then as you do that, you let go of all what you think you are and all what you think life is. Then revelation happens within your own being. And that's why this is a mystical path, spiritual path, and this purest essence. The mystic is that one who goes deep into his inner connection with himself. In any tradition, Judaism, Christianism, Islamism, they all share this deep communion with essence. This meditation is just the essence of that. So we are stopping our own intentional, volitional thinking so that spontaneity happens. And as I explained in level 1, things can happen when you're meditating. Surge of energy, lights, deep emotions. And spirit, or this Shakti essence, speaks through all of those. And you just have to allow yourself to be moved and guided and taken by this deeper current of your being. It's like the surfer allows himself to be taken by the wave. You have to allow yourself to be taken by this inner wave. Because only when when you let go and you're taken, can this power show you so much more that you are. But if you always remain in control, if you don't let go, then this power say, okay, stay there. That's what you want. If you want to go deeper, you gotta let go. This is softening. This is softening. Why does it soften? Because there's nothing you can do besides letting go. And when you surrender, then something greater can take control, which has always been in control. I mean, the great power is always in control. It's just allowing you to think that you're in control. When I say you, it kind of creates a dichotomy. Because it's like there are two levels of your being. That's why in India it says the small self and the big self. Both are yourself. Both are you. But you've been too identified with the rational mind that you become disconnected to your deeper self, which is not rational. It doesn't work on logic because it's content. Logic has a specific context where it can work on. The context of the infinite is infinite. So it doesn't work on logic. It works on pure, spontaneous, unbounded creativity. That's why true creativity breaks the mold from anything else before. When you see a true artist, he just breaks the mold, and whatever he brings out is just like new. Just like, and then everybody starts imitating him. So as humans, we're great imitators. But when we imitate others, we don't find ourselves. To find yourself, you gotta lose yourself. Understand? So meditation is about losing yourself, dropping your ego, stop wanting to control with your head. And yes, there is, of course, a lot of contemplation that has to happen. But remember that all this contemplation is not so that you can figure it out how to go deep in meditation. you won't do it. You have to surrender to a greater power within you that will take you deeper into meditation. And it's just by breathing and experiencing whatever is there to be experienced. So how do you know if you're advancing in the meditation practice, right? So a first point that you know that you are advancing is that you are more present throughout the practice. Simple, right? You are more there. You are more, the level of your presence is more constant. Your forgetfulness, your getting lost in thought is less and less. The second quality is that is what I've been speaking about. There's this dropping of control. It's not about controlling the mind. It's about being present with the movements of the mind. It's allowing the spontaneous to happen while neither clinging to what's going on, like, oh, this is so blissful, may not go away, oh, you're clinging. Or, oh, this is horrible, could it go away? Then you're rejecting. So it's about letting go of those two. Control. Don't control. Whatever comes, let it come. Whatever goes, let it go. Don't try to make the mind into anything. Be with the mind. So the mind thinks, oh, a thought. Okay. The moment you notice a thought, you might not. Or a light came, oh, look at that beautiful light. Well, so it's just allowing for a spontaneous process to naturally evolve within what you are, which is this field of awareness, which is infinite. Yeah? You're allowing infinity to express itself without you trying to control it. And what this power will do is it will take you through experiences. And in that, it will teach you about yourself. But the hardest thing is to let go of control. You know? It's so subtle how we want to gear what's going on. Even that wanting to go into a blissful state, that's control. Let go, accept. Whenever you sit, whatever is coming up, welcome, is another form of awareness. If you reject it, you failed. See? If you want something else, you failed. Whatever's here now, let it be, accept it, experience it fully. You see? Because it is all awareness. It's nothing but awareness. So one of my friends, teacher would say, and even if you feel a rejection to whatever's coming up, then also become aware of rejection happening and let it be. Did you see? The moment you become aware of your own resistance, you're already softening that resistance. You're already letting go. See, it's letting go of your reactions to whatever is happening within you. Whatever is happening, let it happen. So, first, there's more presence. Second, there's less control. Third, there's less doership. There's no doership. You are surrendering to this greater power, which is the one that does. It makes your heart beat. It makes your breath move. It makes your mind think. It makes your memory recall. It is the foundational you. Stop trying to control that and allow that to reveal itself to you. See? So yes, we use the mantra. And the reason we use the mantra is a great technique to help you let go. But there's also a moment when we let go of the mantra. Or the mantra becomes so subtle that it's just energy. And it dissolves in what you are. Again, the goal is to be what you are in essence. And let your own essence reveal itself to you. So increase presence, no control, no doership. And the final one would be no duality. There's no two. It has always been you. The recognition that the small self was just an imagination in your head. It has never existed. Or it existed there in the mind. What has always existed is only awareness. And that you are. That awareness you are. So when you have that recognition, you recognize, you remember what you have always been, but you were lost in this dream about yourself. And it's not that Tomas and his personalities and his feelings are fake or not real. They're just not foundational. They just have a time, like this shirt and this pant. They just have a time. They're not eternal. They are ephemeral. They are creations of the mind. I don't negate them. It's not that I am not that, but I'm so much more deeper than that. See? That's when you start, where you start merging. It's when you start naturally identifying yourself with the field of awareness rather than the content in awareness. Content changes. The field is eternal. It's your true self. It's complete. How are we doing with this?
Do you ever have regressions as you learn to meditate? Like, did you ever find that you felt stuck or that you were moving backwards or that you weren't able to be present? Or
they're all states of mind. Yeah, they all come up and they all pass.
But when you were learning, I mean, did you
and I'm still learning.
Earlier, you know, like when you were our age, when you were a kid. How linear is the process, and how, you know, we talk about establishing a practice, and patience and persistence is something that we've talked about a lot. Both, I think, within one session and within the evolution of one's practice. And I'm just wondering if you could talk more about that. So there have been times where I have felt like, yeah, this is, you know, if I use this checklist and I feel more present during my meditations. And there are times I recognize that it's a state of mind and that it's, you know, but I haven't felt that way. I'm wondering if you have those experiences where you're like, fuck this, it's stupid.
Yeah, of course. It's mine.
So I
had a mind. There are all kinds of states, yeah. There are all kinds of states that come up: depression, anger, loss. I mean, the mind, that anavamana, that deep sense of lack, and that deep desire for something out there to solve your problems is so essentially human, isn't it? So, a deep wish that something out there will complete us, and will some experience out there will fix us, will, but experiences out there can fix us if they transform us within. But only through, you just see it through life as you live, that an experience is powerful depending on how deep does it cut within your own being. Because that's when it's transformational. So of course, yeah, I've gone through, since I started when I was 16 years old. You see, the thing is that I had a great gift when I started the path. The first few months when I started the path, I received my first meditation with my teacher, I had the deepest experience possible of totality within my own being. And I could see my mind, and I could see how lost I was in layers and layers of smallness that was keeping me from experiencing my true unbounded freedom. And I was able to see it. So after that, I just had complete certainty of the path, of what I had to do. And that's what has actually helped me all these years to be so perseverant, to be so steadfast. And it's not that I haven't dropped it, I've dropped it many times, but dropped it in the sense that, oh, I cannot do it now, I'm just lost in this drama or in this passion, or I fell in love, and all my young years when I would have this passion, love, I would kill myself and I would lose the meditation, this big drama, but then I would go back, and there was always this coming back, there's always this coming back. Same as meditation, I would go into this drama and I'm like, oh, I'm meditating, and then come back. Same happens with life. You'll get lost, after this course, and then you'll remember. And you know what? If you've had the experience, some experience of the sweetness of within, you'll keep looking for it. You'll keep wanting it. You'll keep coming back. And what happens is that in time, you are able to more and more and more and more stay there, stay there, stay there. What's that there that I'm speaking of? Is that place of freedom, where I don't become my mind, where I can see my mind, but I don't necessarily become what my mind is thinking. And that's the place of freedom. Because all your suffering happens in a thought. There's nowhere else where your suffering really happens but in thought. The moment you start seeing thought, the moment you start able to dissolve this blackness, this contraction. But it's not, but again, as you see, the mind has many, many layers. Thought is subtle and complex. It's not just a red apple. It's a subtle feeling of unease within you. Then when you tap into it, it has layers. So we're learning to see, we need to learn to see our mind. We need to learn to be exposed to it. We need to develop this inner light to see more deeply into the movements of your mind, so that you can release those subtle dramas that your mind conjures moment by moment. So yeah, my life has been a lot of coming back and coming back. But in that persistence, it's like chipping and chipping away this anavamala until it becomes weaker and weaker and weaker. And my ability to access this infinity within me grows and grows and grows. But it's just, that's why when you speak with Indian, they say, and it takes lifetimes. And you go to India and speak about yoga and spiritual work, and all the Western scholars so avid for elimination. And India said, it takes lifetimes. Look what you do sadhana, you do your practice, and it will come. But there's this lightness because they do understand that the process does happen and does work, but it takes time. It's not the thing that we Westerners are so used to the pill, the quick fix, the instant gratification. And we have this romantic idea of it. Romantic meaning unreal, not connected with the complexity of life. So yeah, that's why when we start level 1 and say meditate every day, yeah, meditate every day. In the first week, it's not easy at all. You know, it kind of starts opening your mind to how your mind is out of control.
Even after the enlightenment. So,
even after
the enlightenment, we have to work because to keep it after the ecstasy belong.
Oh, you read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not really enlightenment, because that's awakening.
Yes.
Enlightenment is when you actually become established, when you really are able to fully release anavamaya and karma mala, and then you are able to constantly retain. It's just like you finally got it, and there's no way you can forget. Then there's no effort. And you know, like if you read Eckhart Tolle's biography or Adyashanti, there's a deep moment of where something breaks, and then finally it's like it's an effortless state. They're able to hold it because the full recognition has happened. You know? And often what they speak is that there's a lot of fear before that happens. Your ego, your structures don't want to surrender. You don't want to lose your control. You don't want to, as the Buddhists say, you have to die within your own being, but it's not. This death is the death of your identification with your ego. Is my identification with Tomas, my attachment to Tomas, and Tomas' stories, and Tomas' desires, and Tomas. That attachment, to it's like an old clothes you've been wearing for so long that you're so attached to it, and you think you're that, but you're not really that. But to discover that you're not that, you gotta let go of that. And that's why it's so scary. Because then you can let go of this, then what? And that's the great jump of consciousness that has to happen. And why we do the practice is so that we practice making that jump. I don't know why today the talk is very deep. But well, this level 2 is that. It's going into the crux of the matter of this spiritual practice of yoga. So, did I kind of answer you?
Yes, I have another question if everyone wants everyone else's stuff.
What?
I have another question once if you're taking more questions.
What's that?
The other
You have a
question.
new.
What?
You have
A mustache?
not a mustache, a thing on your teeth. It's new.
What thing on my teeth?
Oh, I tend to think so. Huh? Oh, you have it. No, you don't have it. I thought I was seeing like a wire. Like,
Oh, no, it was my grill that I took it off. The other question I have is, shit, I just lost it. Because it's not. No, I wanted that one to. Already doing it.
What's the, I know, right, everyone's different, but what's like the optimal time to sit and meditate to be able to reach?
My teacher would say now.
Oh no, I mean like how long does it take? So if you only had like 10 minutes, is it possible to tap into that space, or do you have to sit long enough?
As skillful as you are. Depends on your level of skill.
So how long would it take?
There's not really, see, you're not reaching a state. It's not about, and again, it's not about changing an inner atmosphere. It's not about having sunny days every day.
No, I don't know how you describe it.
But let me explain it. It's about becoming the sky instead of expecting a change of atmosphere. It's about being awareness. That's the goal. The goal is recognizing yourself as awareness and not a thinking idea. A person that thinks. A person that thinks happens just in the mind. Thought happens in awareness. Everything happens in awareness. But we do not live in that awareness, right? We most of the time live in mind consciousness, which is me, Tomas, thinking about Tomas' problem, thinking about Tomas' doing, thinking about Tomas' fears, thinking about Tomas' desire, thinking about Tomas' issues. Yeah? It's going on all the time. And what do we do when we meditate? We go out of that. And to do that, it can be done in an instant. But for that to happen, you need a lot of practice getting out of the mind and starting to experience awareness. And all of you have done that to some extent. And you just need to keep practicing. And what will happen is that also your understanding of awareness will keep developing as you start recognizing more and more layers of the mind. Yeah, that answered the question.
I want to add on yours, but I still have mine. But when do we know, so one of the things that happened to me is there hits a point, if I meditate, I set the timer. I know you don't set a timer, but I still find that I need to.
I know, it's fine.
And if I set a timer for 35 minutes, for a long time, I could sit for 35 minutes and I felt like it was awesome. But now at like some point before the end, I find that it's hard to stay present. Probably like 28 minutes, maybe. That's been challenging for me. When we started, we only did 5 minutes. Then we grew to 10, 15, then 20, 25. Then we've hovered at about 30 or 35 levels. When do we know? You said it depends on your skill level. How does our skill level impact the duration?
When do you know what?
When do we know? You said skill level, so how does skill level impact the duration?
No, the thing
Like
is,
when I start
let
using
me
it,
explain.
27 minutes.
No, let me explain something. Now, the skill level, there's also a process that is happening as you meditate. Remember what I spoke about Kundalini and the chakras? There's a healing process. There's a deep healing that has to happen. And you need time for that. And what's the time my tradition recommends? An hour daily. Yeah, an hour daily. But believe me, an hour passes like that. It's, again, time just has to do with your mind. Time actually only exists in mind. There's just an eternal now.
An eternal what?
Now.
Oh, I thought you said an eternal now.
Can I explain how
So let me just clarify that time is that an hour takes long because your mind is resisting so much.
Yeah.
The only reason why it feels long. The moment when there's no resistance is just completeness. Right? Completeness.
Sometimes you're just uncomfortable. You know, you're
Resistance.
Like,
Resistance to pain. Meaning, yeah, shift your posture. Find a more comfortable posture. It's not about holding pain. You can often find a better ground. So if you're uncomfortable there, then you do this. And you're meditating. And then come back. And again, that also is mine. And to conquer that, it takes time. You know, it takes practice. But yeah, we are wanting to go up to an hour a day. And in my country, I haven't done it here. I used to make one-day retreats where we would meditate 1 hour, 4 hours. And we would break it and we would do some
Every
yoga.
Monday.
Huh?
Every Monday, are you saying to do this?
Huh? Like a retreat. So we go into retreats, and that also is a great help to come to recognize how are you resisting. You need to practice. But now the most powerful practice is the daily practice. It's just not to skip it. You didn't do it in the morning, do it in the evening, before going to bed. Just do it. And yes, every time, your mind will get the better of you and you won't do it. Okay, next day, try again. Infinite patience, infinite perseverance.
For me, happened a little bit to not be so resistant because it was very struggle in the beginning to try. It's like a military thing. And when I shift a little bit my thoughts to start to believe it was a time for me, like present for me, like a gift I was doing to myself. And now it's easier for me to see and enjoy, and I don't get rules very strict if I feel uncomfortable, just shift here and there. But for me, it helped.
Yeah, it's great the point that you bring, how you perceive your practice. How do you see it? For me too. For me, it's a moment of connecting with something wonderful within me. You just need to let go of the mind. And it takes a while. And she'll come and you just let go. Don't get too concerned that the mind keeps kicking back. Don't get too concerned that you get lost in mind. Don't get too concerned that at the 28 minutes your mind will kick in. Oh, okay. You know, it's like one of my meditation teachers said, if a dog barks you in your mind, don't worry. It won't bite you. Like we're so afraid of our thoughts. We're so afraid. Oh, my mind is there again. Just drop it. You see? Just drop it. That's it. But isn't that true that we're so easily snared by the thought constructs that arise in our head? Because we're so identified with them. Yeah? You want to ask us something? Because
I was going to respond to Rachel's point. So the way I see it, probably wrong. It's right.
well, you know, you have to say that.
So, have you ever had a surgery?
Funny, yes.
Okay, so when you're asleep, you know you're asleep. Right? When you're asleep, you're aware of time passing, even though you're asleep. When you have a surgery,
Really?
I heard this podcast.
when you have a surgery, you're not aware of time. You're awake, and then you're asleep, and then you're awake instantaneously. There's no memory in the surgery. You just on like a light switch, then you're off like a light switch, then you're on like a light switch. Makes sense? So I think you get it when it's like you're in surgery, right? when you absolutely stop thinking completely and time just goes up. And you drop in and out of surgery. So you're like asleep and then anesthetized and sleep. And when you're in the periods of anesthetic, that's when you're going.
Yeah. Look, what creates time?
Completely zero. And it just happens in a second.
It's like really you have to think, what is time? Time has to do with change. Your perception of time has to do with what changes in that period of time. You see? And your perception of time as long and short has to be with the relationship that you're having with what's going on. That's why sometimes time flies, because you are so happy with what's going on. You're so easeful, you're not resistant. But time goes very slowly when you're resistant. That's why a minute of meditation for somebody is torture, because because the majority of people, when they're starting to meditate, they want to control the mind. It doesn't work. You don't control the mind. You become aware of the mind, which is very different. And awareness means there's allowing for the mind to wander and then come back. And the more you become proficient in this practice, the more you realize that it's way better for the mind not to wander, because what's there is so much juicier than wherever the mind might want to go. See? So let's practice. Okay? Today we're going to be practice with the gong. The gong is wonderful because it's a very simple practice where you just listen to the sound. And the sound, there's a moment when it disappears. And you feel the sound until it disappears. And it's almost like what the sound does, it takes a space in awareness, and it vibrates in awareness. And then it starts disappearing, and then what's left is awareness. You see? It's a very powerful and simple meditation technique.